Good Company podcast again. Rick Karle. There's our special guest, James Spann. How are you, James?
Where's Coulter and Anderson?
Well, they're taking the day off. What did you take
a day off?
They're taking a day off, so you could take time to talk to the y'all sweet tea guys.
These guys are kind of a big deal.
They are.
Their home smells of rich mahogany. They have many leather-bound books. Yes,
it's Brandon Echols, Darien Craig from Y'all Sweet Tea. Is it Y'all Sweet Tea or just Y'all Tea?
So Y'all Sweet Tea, even though our tea is not sweet. Sweet's in the name, but it's actually not sweet. But we named it.
We get beat up over that all the time. We do. I'll just start with this. We get beat up over that all the time. But we grew up on good sweet tea. And we started selling originally, it was just liquid sweet tea. That's all we had.
Right.
And when we bagged it, we were like, well, the name sounds better, Y'all Sweet Tea, than Y'all Tea. I just like the little
Y'all Sweet Tea. It has a good name. Yeah. Before we really get into this product and how you've been on Shark Tank and how you're making boatloads of money. No, we don't have to get into it. But anyway, as two 31-year-olds, I do want to say James mentioned your well-coiffed hair. And considering where James is on the hair front, I think that's something we might want to just.
Well, the funny thing is he said that we actually filmed a hair tutorial video yesterday.
well, my first question was, is that your real hair?
Yep.
And you say it is.
It is.
That's your real hair.
Yes, so they say.
It's not a toupee.
It is not a toupee.
Okay. We call them toupees down in Butler County where I'm from.
Is that what it is? Is that a toupee?
So how long do you work on this hair one every day? And I know that's not the reason we're here, but I'm fascinated as I hair.
You don't.
It takes. Like I told Liz, one of the key ingredients is a good hair dryer. If you don't get that flat, everyone does that little thing away at the end.
Well, I don't use hair products.
So you take the little piece off the end.
You got to have the cone on there so you get a flat push.
Well, let's get real. What kind of product is up in there?
I don't know the brand, but it's a little powder. I found this powder at my barber shop, and instead of using a gel now, they've just got this powder form, and it's like baby powder. I just powder my hair and brush it, hit it with hair.
It's not Axe, is it?
It's not Axe.
That's good. Have you ever had a fifth grader spray down Axe in the dugout? You can't breathe for 3 days, so that's good. No, but that's a good look. If I had hair like this guy, I'd be a good looking guy.
But if you're tuning into this podcast, you've heard of these guys. They grew up in Hayden together. Were you best buddies from the get-go, or was it in high school when you grew closer?
So,
how did that work?
Funny story. I'll go all the way back, and then I'll let Darien take from there. But all the way back, when we were 6 years old, we played on a RA basketball team at Center Point First Baptist. And the funny thing is, Darien remembers us being on the team together. So we were on the same basketball team. But fast forward to 8th grade, I go home, I spend the night with Darien. We became friends in high school. I go to his house. I'm walking around his house for the first time, just kind of looking around. And I look on the wall, and there's a picture of little kid basketball team. And I kind of look at it, and I'm like, that's me. I'm in that picture. And I looked at him. He was like, I thought we were on the same basketball team when we were 6 years old. But that picture was on his wall at his house. And that's when we figured out, like, oh, we've known each other since we were little kids.
So you played at Hayden High School together? You the same grade, same graduation?
Yep.
When did you graduate?
2012.
2012.
Yep.
Well, what time out here? Where'd you guys go to elementary school?
I went to Arthur Elementary School.
You paused, okay.
Those the elementary schools. I know. I bounced around a while, but one of the schools I went to was Arthur Elementary School.
I've been there. I've been everywhere, man.
I went to Arthur. But I moved to Hayden in the 4th grade. And after that basketball season, Brandon started when we were kids, we separated. Brandon went in his direction.
Yeah, I went to Mountain View Baptist School in the Trussville area.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Tabernacle Christian School until 7th grade, and then I moved to Hayden in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that I've been there. Yeah, I was going to see if they remember me from 3rd grade, but they probably don't. They slept through my program. That's it.
So you don't remember James?
Now, I remember James from all the way since I was a kid because my parents always had the news on. So, I mean, if there's a tornado coming through, we're getting James Spann without a tie on for sure.
Polygon. Yeah. You don't mess around with Polygon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're playing basketball at Hayden. You two any good, or who's a better player?
Oh, well, Brandon's better.
Yeah.
The young Brandon was better. Now that we're both washed up and old, Brandon's got bad knees, so I'll hit him a couple of jabs in the knee. And
I've rolled my ankle so many times, so. But yeah, we were both basketball players in high school. We had a pretty good team.
Yeah, we were
all right.
Yeah, all right. And you go to college together?
Well, that's kind of.
We did go there a couple times. Yes, we went to a building that they called college at James.
So that was your. Tell me about that and how you dropped out and why you dropped out. And
we dropped out because we're dumb. Just straight up.
Honesty and transparency always best. Always best.
I was lead with that.
Yeah. We went to Jeff State Community College, we went there. Darien was on a scholarship. Darien got a scholarship. Did on a scholarship. What was the scholarship?
Ambassador.
Ambassador
At
scholarship.
Georgia State.
And we went there. We lasted about 2 semesters, and we realized, I don't think we're real good at this.
Well, we cheated off Brandon's wife, Carrie, is one of the smartest people either of us know.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Carrie, we would still be in 8th grade right now. We cheated on every possible.
Well, you cheated?
Yes. The what?
No, honesty is better. Remember, honesty.
Yeah. And these two are very successful businessmen slash entrepreneurs.
Miss Howard, if you're watching this, we cheated.
See, these guys went from being cheaters to being entrepreneurs and business people.
Yeah.
See, you did dig out of the hole.
It's not always the smartest person.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just the hardest work. So yeah, book smartest.
You did work hard though, because you got together at one point and you said, what to see, who had the grandma that made the tea?
My name.
Yeah.
And you had the mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the connection there and what you decided to go. How you
Yeah,
decided.
I think just growing up, I can just remember there's a specific memory that I have at Brandon's house. We're playing basketball in the backyard, and it's the middle of summer on summer break, pouring sweat, and you go in for the biggest glass of sweet tea you can get, which is not the healthy thing, but that's what we did, and we'd kill a gallon of tea. And I can just remember thinking at a way young age, like we could sell this stuff. It's so good. And we'd hit a couple glasses and go back out and keep playing ball. And I think that's probably the earliest memory I have of maybe selling it. But just growing up in the South, we're all raised on really good sweet tea. So I think that's kind of the inspiration of, everyone's got that family member that says they've got the best sweet tea ever.
So you started visiting county fairs and different and serving up this. You put them in glass jugs and set up a table and sell them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got fired from a local company, and I just said I never wanted to work for anyone ever again. And I visited that tea idea, and I was like, what is something that we could name this? Because we just sell sweet tea. But what's something that a person that drinks sweet tea, what are they saying? What are they doing? And for whatever reason, I had this idea of y'all sweet tea that I hated the name at the beginning. I hated it. It just sounded weird. It didn't fit together. And I was like, y'all isn't even a word that matters. Like
y'all tea. Because I remember
it was
Darien was at my house and we were talking about it, and Darien brought that up. He was like, I'm thinking y'all. And I was like, y'all tea? Is that how it would sound? And he was like, I don't know, maybe and then y'all sweet tea and then that started rolling off the tongue, and I was like, oh, okay. And then that's when
man is a marketing genius.
He is.
Marketing genius.
The thing. So you cheated on a test once or in multiple tests. You dropped out of college and you got fired from a job out of college.
Yep.
And look at you now. It's just right. It's amazing. It can be done. So how did you get the formula just right? Because from what I understand, you put a lot of glasses in front of friends and family and said, all right, let's do this. Pick one out.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest parts was, it dates back a while, but we would, I would go to, there was many people, I would go to their house and just watch their mom usually make tea and ask questions. Brandon's mom's got this weird little scoop that she uses for the sugar. So I'm having to go measure out that thing to figure out how much sugar. And there was multiple families, but it's finally I realized there's a couple little things. And then that led into the master recipe, which was, when we would do these festivals, we had a huge pot to make the tea in. It was you don't just multiply the recipe; you got to figure this thing out. But anyhow, we got it figured out. But then, to launch the company that we've got now, we had all of these samples. And there kind of jumps back and forth, but to find a tea manufacturer is a little bit difficult. You can't call Red Diamond and say, hey, will y'all make tea for us? They're going to hang up on you immediately. Lipton doesn't really like that phone call either. So yeah, those guys don't like that phone call. So we had to find who else can do this. And once we found several suppliers, there was a specific day, Brandon and Carrie, his wife, and me and my wife, Hannah, all met at my house. And we had, numbers on the bottom of a cup and a bunch of different cups out. And there was really no instruction of just pick which one's your favorite. And all four of us picked the exact same one. And it was such a cool moment because we had already had we changed the packaging and did all these neat things, but it was we have to figure out the formula to make it perfect because we only got one shot at this. Once you launch it and you go into the, a big box store, or even an e-commerce store, you get one shot to go up against Red Diamond, Lipton, Louisiana. Everyone knows what those teas taste like, and they're all really good teas. So it's we were putting a lot on the line on this, and it worked out.
Yeah. We kid about your college and all, but you guys have worked your butts off. You really have.
Thank you.
Tell me about that work ethic and what it has taken to get you to this point.
Yeah. I'll start. I go back to sports. And so we were both basketball players. We just talked about that. We have our basketball coach in high school was Coach Dutton. You might be familiar with him.
Mike Dutton.
Yeah, Mike Dutton from Pinson. Then he came to Hayden. But we still, to this day, we invited Coach Dutton to our Shark Tank watch party to come watch it with us because he was just such an inspiration to us. But going back to sports, I mean, it's just what you learn as far as the hard work, the doing suicides and you have to do them in 30 seconds. And, you get back at 31 and it's like you're about to throw up, but get back on the line, you got to do it again. And so I feel like I just took that with me. My first career was in indoor trampoline parks, which is weird, but I got a part-time job and it was just like, if I work really hard, maybe I can become a manager, And so I was always just trying to be the hardest working person in the room and was able to work my way up through that. But yeah, mine goes back to sports.
Mine goes back to sports. We talk about it all the time, but just not being a team, being a team sport, not being an individual, and it doesn't matter how hard you work, but you got to also get everyone around you to work hard too. So they have to buy into the process and the mission of what we're trying to do. Well, the only way to get people to buy into the process and the mission is have a good mission. This has to be something established. So I think we've done a really good job of that, just, working hard on our own, but then also being able to inspire the people around us to work with us to be able to do it as well. And honestly, I just want to beat Brandon most of the time. So if I just see him in there working hard, I'm like, I got to go a little harder. And that's honestly, we've done this for a while.
Yeah.
But a guy who can relate to working hard is this guy.
Yeah.
No. I like these guys because
no. But I'm just saying, you're sleeping 4 hours a night. You're working 3 hours a night. You're working 21 hours a day. But that work ethic, I mean, you can relate to. It's made you a success.
I hope everybody watching or listening to this, they understand you don't have to be that good. I am good at nothing. I'm not that good. But let me tell you what, I'll work harder than anybody to accomplish a goal. And that's the ethic I'm hearing from these guys. Yep. And you see what's happened here. It's a great lesson for everybody. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be that good. But you cannot be successful without a really, really good work ethic. And that's proof right here.
I want to run through a wall right now. Yeah. That's those Spann speech. Come on. They're right.
Especially we self-admittedly are not the book smartest people. So you get to a challenge in business of, me and Liz talk about this all the time, but she asked me one time, how did you learn how to build a website for the first time? Because I had no clue. I'm obviously not a coder. I'm not smart enough to do that. So we have to have a website. Brandon's not going to do it. So I'm the guy. not that he wouldn't have done it, but he
called me first and said, hey, you know how to build a website? I said, no, buddy.
But it was like, okay, we have to get there. So we got to figure it out. And I just YouTubed it. That's the only way I knew what to do and me and Brandon joke about this all the time. There's so many obstacles that we get to that we have no clue how to get through. And we just Google, straight up Google or YouTube. And maybe they're not building a tea company, but maybe they built a shoe company or, apparel company or something. So you can pull from that. But at the end of the day, it's neither of us want to lose in this. And so we're going to do whatever it takes to get it done.
Mm-hmm. But you can't be afraid to fail either.
Yeah.
And you've got to think outside the box. And some of the things I would imagine in your short tenure as entrepreneurs, business people have failed. Mm-hmm. And you got to get through it and figure out what works.
Yep. And talking about failing, going back in our story of we used to sell tea at festivals. We would make the tea. We would take it to festivals. I was chasing this career. Darien is doing this full time with, a small team. They're running 2-3 festivals a weekend. And we got to a certain point in the first 3 years of doing that where we were like, how do you make this big? This can't be a big company because the only way to make this bigger is to do more festivals and get more festivals and more employees. And we had to pause that business. We didn't want to, but we had to pause that business because we were like we can't just keep, we don't know how to make this big. And Darien always said from that day, he was like, y'all sweet tea will be big one day. It's just not going to be this, but it's going to be big one day. And, it took 3 years after that of thinking on it and then working. I mean, we worked behind the scenes for a year to almost a year and a half before the product was ready to launch onto our website. So
how do you go from serving tea at a county fair to mass producing this? And I've done pieces on you before for television and my Facebook page or whatever, AL.com. But but you go from, sipping it to, okay, now you got a contract with a plant manufacturing plant and packaging and then designing and then the look of the thing and then the whole bit. And of course, you've since gone to merch, to, everything from clothing to pitchers and glasses. How do you take that from the county fair to where you are today? I wouldn't know the first thing how to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, we didn't. That's why we had to pause it. Like Brandon said, that was one of the most important things because that was right at the turn of social media becoming big, 2017, and people would message us on Instagram. We started getting these followers from all over, and like, can you ship to Texas? Can you ship to California? And like, we're going to make a gallon of tea, go buy a water jug at Walmart, pour it out, pour our tea into it, mail it to you. It's going to, doesn't even make any sense. But if we could figure this out and pre-package it, we could ship you the dry tea. And then if we give you our secret recipe, which I think is really cool because you hear about the Coca-Cola recipes in a vault somewhere in Atlanta and no one's ever going to be able to see it. We're literally giving you our exact recipe so you can make it the same way that we make it because that's the objective for us is like we want everyone to have really good sweet tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, answer to the question is how do you do it? A lot of Googling and
just phone calls.
Well, the thing is, you call a manufacturer and say, "Hey, we're Y'all Sweet Tea." Who? Y'all Sweet Tea. Never heard of you. Well, we're going to do a minimum run of like 50 gallons, and they're like instantly hang up. You're not even getting close. These people are manufacturing tea for Arby's, like huge volume of thing. So like we're not even close in these conversations. And then we actually found two people that would give us a shot. I did pull a savage move, though. I want to talk about this savagery.
Savage move.
The well-coiffed
Show title.
So
savage move.
I found the supplier, and I like the guy, but the tea was terrible. And so we were talking a lot on this blend of tea that we were trying, and he was like trying to push us that we got it right. Y'all need to go with this. And he said, man, if you, I'm just glad y'all didn't call any of the other people like blank and blank and blank and blank. I said, what'd you say? He's like, I'm just glad you didn't call anybody else, our competitors. Like, and he starts naming his competitors. Well, I had my phone and I like instantly started writing this down. And the first one that he named ended up being the manufacturer we went with. But as soon as we got on the phone with him, I called the 1-800 number for that company, got in touch with the sales rep, that same sales rep that sent us the original samples and never called that guy back. And, but that's the same sales rep we still use to now.
He took a chance on us. He did a little minimum run for us. I think we ended up getting like one pallet of tea, which probably made a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 bags of tea. And, which to them is just nothing. I don't even know why I did it, but now same guy, now we're ordering.
And you ship these, you use family and friends and moms and relatives in the warehouse and you ship them out and, this is a whole thing. Well, would you like to grab some of that tea?
I would.
And show Mr. Spann how you package it, why you package it that way, why is it best to package that way. And
by the way, I got some of their product. I was at Hayden Elementary School.
Did you? Okay.
I'm in a school every single day.
Sure.
And I was at Hayden Elementary, and instead of giving me a cake, they said, we've got something better. And I brought that home, and my wife said, finally, this is outstanding.
Did she?
Oh, yeah, she knew about
awesome. Mrs. Spann?
Yeah. So you got the seal. We had a big winner right there.
Yeah, my wife loves it, too. That's your regular, and this is peach, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
So, James, I'll tell you a story about this peach tea. So when we launched the company, that's our regular tea. We had regular and decaf. Inside there's 10 1-gallon tea bags. And everybody started asking us a little, 4 or 5 months into business, have you ever thought about doing a flavored tea? And everybody kept saying peach. Would you like to do a peach flavored tea? And of course, we looked at each other like, can you do that? Like, how do you do that? And so we called the tea manufacturer like, can we do a peach flavored tea? And they were like, yeah, we can figure that out. So same thing as our regular tea. We get all these samples. We start taste testing it. We tweak it until we get a tea blend of peach tea that tasted great. So we hype it up. At the time, we don't have any money. And so we're like, we're going to make a run of this tea to make 10,000 of these bags. And it was a big gamble. We were like, hopefully it lasts us all summer. And so we make the gamble, we order the tea. It took us like 30 days because all this tea is hand packed into these packaging. They take the tea bags, they stack it into a stack, and they hand.
Right across the street from Hayden Elementary.
Yep.
In the old building.
Mm-hmm. That's where we started, and that's where it was being packed. So it took us over 30 days to get all the tea bags packed. We launched it on our website, and we sold all 10,000 bags in 30 minutes on our website.
What?
And since then, peach has been our number one seller since then. So every time we would order, we were 20,000 after that, sold it out in a day, ordered it again, sold it out. And so
we'll just hang on now. So I could do differential equations, but this is challenging to me. I'm trying to figure this out. So how does this, do you get peaches and grind them up or how do you do this? I mean, I don't understand how you flavor tea like this. I mean, and obviously they're not going to tell us the secret.
That's too secret.
We have to break our legs. Yeah, everybody's legs watching.
And they have different flavors too. And
that the Flavor House does artificial and
it's a natural and artificial flavor crystal.
And they just put it. So they blend it in
crystal.
Mm-hmm. It's like a flavor crystal. So I could show you if we opened one. But so once that tea bag goes into a pot of hot water and it steeps, those crystals melt into the tea, and then that's what flavors the tea.
Okay, so you don't go down to Chilton County with a bunch of peaches and grind them up or anything. Okay.
You know, the funny thing, we get a little bit ahead about that, though. Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty, he has this famous...
Beard guy.
Yeah. And this was an unpaid... We had no clue this was going to happen, but on their podcast, they were talking about their favorite drinks, and they asked him, we were not working with him or anything, what's your favorite tea? And he's a big tea guy, and he said, it's a new company called Y'all Tea. And he told this whole story, but he said, my favorite one's the peach. The only difference in drinking their peach tea and getting a fresh peach and an orchard in Georgia is the juice that dribbles down your beard.
Wow.
And he did this like very visual description of what this tea tastes like. Mm-hmm. And our sales and videos and everything went to the moon.
This was not a paid conversation.
No,
it came out of nowhere.
Somebody texted us the video, and I watched it, and Darien watched it, and we were like, can you believe this? Like he just shouted us out.
But you're smart enough to know that social media influencers, people with big numbers behind them, can also help you. Brenda Gant, other people that you've worked with nationwide. Yeah. I mean, you're sharp.
So we clipped that. Obviously, we clipped that. The funny thing is, after he did the most elaborate ad read you ever heard, and it was totally free. And the funny thing is, there was a young guy sitting right beside him, and he said, and that one's free. Y'all sweet tea, y'all going to pay for the next one. He said that at the camera. But we clipped that, and then I did a podcast talking, the same thing I just said, except I clipped it, and we put a little overlay of Uncle Si on there, and it did 1 million views in a week, in actually 2 or 3 days. And that sold, $100,000 worth of tea in a week, just from the clip of him talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that clip is still like one of our biggest clips going around. I think it has 20 million views or something.
Where did you get, because you part of your success, a lot of your success is your success on social media.
Yeah.
You're young folks, and that comes with the territory. Liz is a brilliant young lady. But is it just, you kind of always known this about social media, or
wait
how
a
to
minute.
put things together?
I got a better question. Are you TikTok dancers?
Look, we're trying to stay away from that.
Back as long as we can.
Okay, I'm just saying they look like they could be.
They could be in many different forms. But no, but the point is, you're good at social media. Were you always good at social, and did it come to you easily? Or?
Yeah, actually, I got into the bass fishing industry back even prior to this all starting, and started managing social media accounts in the fishing industry. And a good friend of mine, Gerald Swindle, who you know, he introduced me to a lot of brands, and that opened my eyes to bass fishing or to social media. But what I saw was they have pro anglers, obviously, that fish the tours, but they also had influencers who were selling. And so since I was working for these companies, I was seeing the traffic that these influencers were driving for fishing brands. And so I look at our competitors, and I'm like, man, these companies are huge. Lipton, Red Diamond, Louisiana, they're huge companies that we've all grown up on their tea, but they're so big, they don't even do anything on social media at all.
Right.
And it's a unique thing because that's obviously a compliment to them, hundreds of millions of dollars in sales and in their every single store. But I think there's some low-hanging fruit on social media. If we get on there and start doing a good job, let's just do the same thing I'm doing on these fishing brands. But the thing is truly transparency in the early days, because we sell out of Georgia Peach. We've got thousands of people mad at us that they can't get it because it's sold out. Well, me and Brandon just jumped on a Facebook Live. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm telling people we're sold out. They're not going to believe us if we don't show them. So like me and Brandon walk around this empty warehouse and like, look, if we had anything to sell you, you'd be, but here's the tea room where they're packing it. And I think just learning how to talk to your audience, or understanding who your audience is. Ours is a Southern grandmother. That's our customer, a Southern grandmother. And so a Southern grandmother loves honesty. And if you're honest with her, then she's probably going to be love you forever, bring you into her home, cook you a meal. If you lie to her, she's probably going to do the opposite of that, probably want to invite you back. So I think about my Nana, I think about Brandon's mom, and like, how would we talk to them? How would we act around them? Which they don't like our leg tattoos, by the way. We'll show that later.
No, prop it up on the table. No, prop it up. Stand up.
Oh, yeah, that is just like the
Chandler, get a shot at
It is. Get it close in on it. Darian's got his whole leg done.
Why would you not like this?
I mean, I don't know.
I got a lion on my thigh.
The funny thing is that when we
Rick's got some on his backside. Let's don't show those.
pull your pants
It's a
up.
family show here. So what does usually tattoos tell a story? What do you got a story there on your leg?
They are, and they're just a bunch of different things.
It's pretty cool talking about.
Stand up again real quick, Darien. Give Chandler time to focus in on that leg.
I did get one of the cool things I saw was these Polaroids.
Okay.
And it was just a new tattoo style, but this one is a Polaroid of my son, my first son at his first birthday, but it's got my dad, me, my son, my brother, and my papa all in the picture. But it's a real Polaroid that we've got. And so, anyhow, I thought that was
Why one leg instead of two?
I ran out of money. Had another kid.
You can only, those things are expensive.
Yeah.
James, would you like to tell us the story of your tattoo?
Let's see what I got here. I got Fruit Loop socks. Fruit Loop socks. That's
Fruit Loop socks and
socks. I'm the king of socks.
and you're like me, all the hair on your ankle is gone.
While we're talking about tattoos, I'll tell you this. This is my only tattoo here.
Step up there, Brandon.
Yep. So
Give him time to get that damn.
Chandler will never speak with his
And this is we're not doing any more dudes' legs on this podcast.
Right up
Put it on the table, Brandon. Sew your leg up there.
Stretch that thing out. Come on.
Well, there you go. Okay, his hips are bad.
Something cool about mine. These are tea leaves.
Yeah.
And then these are coffee berries. We launched coffee as well back in the day. And so I got the lion, and then I put tea leaves and coffee berries around. But I'll tell you this. I was going to get it. Bring this back. I was going to get a tattoo, and I asked Darien. I said, how bad did that thing hurt? Like, I've been wanting one really bad. And he was like, I mean, it didn't hurt that bad. It was a little uncomfortable. So then I go ask Liz. Liz has a couple tattoos. I said, how bad did it hurt? She was like, it's not that bad. It's just a little uncomfortable. They lied to me.
They're scammed.
They lied to me.
Both of them. They're total scammers.
It hurt. Man, it hurt.
Yeah.
Well, so we taste your tea?
Let's do it. Of course.
No, I'm a big consumer of their tea.
Let's do it. We get it.
Okay, here's to you guys.
Yes. This is our peach flavored tea. Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. That's
It's good stuff, isn't it? And that's what
Down in it, man. I mean, come on.
that's not. Now I've got to be careful with my A1C.
Yeah.
So I actually
When you pick it up, you get that little aroma. Yes, it's outstanding. This is the best aroma. I mean,
what I like about though the regular, like I said, I don't put the sugar in it. Just to keep my levels down, but it is so crisp. And that's the word that comes to mind.
Yep.
It's clean, it's crisp, it's clear, and it's really good. Now let me tell you if I've been doing these directions right. Basically, say you get a big pitcher out. They sell their pitchers there. You got a big pitcher for, and there's 10 of these, right? Okay. You steep this in 4 cups of water for 9 minutes?
Yep.
How am I doing?
You're doing so far.
Take it out with tongs, okay, and then you fill the pitcher with ice.
That's right.
Okay. Then you pour the hot stuff in it.
Yep.
Okay. And then you pour the rest of the pitcher with ice / 4 more cups of water.
Yep.
You're ready to go.
Yep.
Boy, he's
Knocked it out.
And I
He's done it a time or two.
So I've done it a time or two, only because that is so easy to do. And this will last. This will be a big plastic pitcher of iced tea, and there's 10 of them. Okay, we're talking about Shark Tank here in a minute. But what does this retail for? How much does it cost you to make?
By the way, this is gold. They're sold out. So
No, that is
be real
how much does it cost you to make a bag, and how much you sell it for?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're in the $4.50 range to make it, and we sell it for. We actually had to go up a little bit this year because of tariffs, but we're around $9.50 to sell it retail on a bag. For the flavor, they're a little bit more expensive. You're a couple dollars less on the.
How much is a bag of that then typically? If I want to set
About $8.
Yeah,
$8.
around $8 retail.
Okay, so the return on your buck is pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how much you made, or no? Is that
Yeah,
We just so Lifetime
You've been going. Excuse me, not to interrupt you. I guess I did since you started in what 2020,
2021.
2021. Okay, so since 2021.
Yep. April of 2021 to today, we actually just crossed a pretty big milestone, which was actually I don't even know where we're at today. I know we recently passed 15 million in sales, lifetime sales. And
I don't know the current number.
It's probably,
But he's about to get to a really cool fact. We're days away from our millionth package of tea sold through our website. We've actually passed 1 million bags, but the millionth through the website, which is pretty neat.
Yep.
And you've had this for how long then? If it's a million,
Not even 5 years.
yeah,
So okay, so
4 years.
And then
Well, what does the millionth customer get?
So
we're working on that.
We're working on it.
the old
package.
they need something special.
Yeah, we're talking about flying them in and showing them a tour of the warehouse, having Mama Sue up to cook them a meal,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
and spend a day with them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think would be really neat. And then another neat number is we're a few days away from 500,000 orders on our website online, and we've talked with a lot of e-commerce brands and worked with a bunch of them over time. And the volume of orders that we do is a big number. 500,000 in less than 5 years can be crazy to do. So that's something we're proud of. Shopify gives you a little plaque at 100,000, and they make you wait to 1 million.
Orders, yeah, but we're halfway there.
We're halfway there.
Yeah, that was another big challenge in the business is, okay, you figure out how to sell orders on our website. Well, now you have thousands of orders that come to you. Well, now you have to package those orders
how
up
do you ship them?
and ship them out and everything else. And so,
Like Jeff Bezos when he started Amazon. It's the same thing.
it took a long time to, create the processes. And now, we have a pretty small team and they can ship out 20, 30,000 packages a month.
How many people are working for you in the warehouse? In other words,
We have about
8, 10?
Yeah, about 8 full-time employees.
8 or 10.
Yeah.
So they go after it, packaging this stuff, and they send it right out. And, and then, all right, tell us about Shark Tank. This is our Mr. Wonderful here. But how to come about. Tell us about the adventure. A lot of folks who are watching this podcast, listening, have seen the episode. They reran it recently, months ago. That was fun. Yeah, I watched it a second time. Tell us about it.
The Shark Tank was such a cool thing because back in the day, we were selling liquid tea at these festivals, and every person that came up to us and saw us would say, "Y'all need to go on Shark Tank." And so I'm a huge fan of the show. Brandon's a huge fan of the show. We watched it forever. And then a few years ago, I guess 2 years ago now, randomly one night I applied. I think me and Brandon had talked about it, and we never let's go do it. We had talked about it in the past, let's apply for Shark Tank. It's just an online application. It's a one page, but literally 6 or 7 questions. And we filled those out. The next day we get an email. It's like, hey, you passed these few questions. You want to do a phone call interview? We did really well in that interview and went on to the next step. We actually didn't make it that year, and we got discouraged. She says that we were late in the process. So she's like, well, next year, just apply a little bit earlier and you'll have a better shot.
She being a producer?
Producer.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, the next year, we get so busy that this is what failed us in school.
We waited till the same time.
At the same exact time. And I applied randomly one night, woke up the next morning, told Brandon, hey, I applied us for Shark Tank again. He's like, awesome.
Let's see what happens.
And so this time,
neither one of us had our hopes up at all, by the way. We were just like, all right, let's just keep rocking and rolling.
And so what she told us was, your answers on the written part was perfect. I mean, we actually can't really talk a ton about this next step, but there's a video submission that you have to do. And she said, show your personalities a little bit more on the video because we don't know. We just got to submit a random video. So we spent a lot of money on this video highlighting who we are as people along with the company. Last time we just talked facts about the company. We didn't realize they're selling a TV show. They're wanting to make good TV. And we knocked it out of the park. It was probably the best video I've ever been a part of. And we got the call, we went in, but then that just starts this process. And again, it's like, we can't talk a lot about it, but throughout the whole thing, they keep saying, now this doesn't mean you're going to make it on the show. Just because you've made it this far doesn't mean you're going to make it on the show. To the point that we fast forward a long time and they say, hey, we're going to book y'all's plane tickets but that doesn't mean you're going to be on the show. And so me and Brandon are laughing, but I think it was the craziest experience that I've been a part of, probably outside of the minutes before my wife walked down the aisle. I would say that would be, or having my son. But it's really close to those two events. Because
you go out there but well, I guess I'm jumping ahead. How many sharks were you? Was it 4 or 5?
By the way, I know why they got on the show. It's that hair.
Yeah, that's what it says. That's what they said.
Because if it wasn't the hair, they would have said, "I'm sorry, you got to show more personality."
It was intimidating because again, we film a bunch. Cameras don't intimidate us now, but the level of production that this was at, it was a whole new world.
Which, by the way, Darien said cameras don't intimidate us. Now, Darien started a YouTube channel back in the day. He's been just filming himself for years, okay? We start this company. Well, day one, Darien's like, hey, we're going to film a video. And, like, he turns the camera on. I'm just like, frozen. I don't know what to do. And it took me a year or more. We hire Liz.
Liz says that it's still not all the way there yet.
I'm still a work in progress. But it took forever for me to just get comfortable enough to where I could be myself on camera and I'm not just,
He was the charmer all the time.
Yeah, Liz always called me a car salesman anytime I got on camera. And
hey, you come and see us.
But so Shark Tank was so intimidating because it's like, it's your one chance. You got to knock it out of the park. You got to.
So the sharks sitting in front of you were Lori, Grenier.
Yep.
The other guy who bid on you.
Isn't it? So we had, left, right, we had Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
We had Miss Barbara.
Okay.
Mr. Wonderful, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Lori, and then a guest shark, Rashawn Williams.
Okay. Who liked you very much. You go out there, you do your spiel. You take Mama Sue with you, who is... for a lot of you watch her, a wonderful lady from Harpersville, Alabama, does very well with her videos, who started during the pandemic.
Yep.
Just giving tips with Harold and, her family. So she did a great job. And were you surprised that the two sharks jumped on you or no? Were you expecting success?
Before that part, the one thing that I want to point out is how big. It was just way bigger. The physically, like being there, it was huge. Tall ceilings, a massive room, and you just see cameras, big cameras everywhere, like the Super Bowl kind of really big ones, and they're just everywhere. And the sharks are so far away. But the part they warned us about, and this leads up to what you're saying, is they warned us right before we went out there, the sharks will talk over each other. You don't realize it's on TV because they cut their audio. They said the sharks will talk over each other and they won't stop. So all 5 sharks at the same time would start asking questions at the same exact time, and none of them would let up. So you have to keep a TV face, figure out what shark you want to, focus on. Me and Brandon have to simultaneously in our brains think the same thing.
Who's going to talk?
Yeah, and then ask, okay, we appreciate all of your questions, but Mark, we want to start with you. And then you have to be in charge of directing that. And there's no cuts. It's real deal. They
told us when you go out there, if you mess up, you better keep going because there's no cuts. It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, and we did really good. And I kept getting pumped throughout this thing because they would ask questions, and then we rehearsed. We did a ton of rehearsal, but we did it based on the 10 to 12 minute segments of TV that we watched all the other guys on. What they don't tell you is that we were out there for an hour, and there was a lot of other questions, but we only studied the same 10-minute questions that are on every single episode. Well, we're getting grilled up, y'all cuss on here, but we get our ass on that show.
Yeah, right.
It was bad.
He says you can use entry-level cuss words.
Okay, that's one of them. So you're getting way more questions than what we, the viewer,
and they're
watching.
hard. They're very hard questions that we knew the answers to, but we weren't prepared for it all. We hadn't studied them, so we're going off the cuff. And I was getting pumped because Brandon would be killing this answer to a question, didn't really get on it. And then then it would go to me, and I could see Brandon in my peripheral, and I was answering the question. I felt like I was doing good. I was nervous, but I could see him shaking his head, and that was pumping me up. So we were working off of each other really well. But I see Rashawn asked us, what do y'all plan to do with the company in 5 years? We gave our answer. He closed his book, and I was like, is it about to be really good or bad? And he said, I've heard enough. I went in, gave us his pitch, and then Kevin, Mr. Wonderful, he started responding. And as Kevin was talking, Lori did her signature, hold her notebook and whisper to the guest shark beside her, which was Rashawn. And
We're like two little kids.
I'll never
smiling.
smiling. When she started whispering, I knew it was
So they went in together.
Yep.
You got what, $500,000? What was it? For what percentage?
15%, $500,000.
Okay, so you get $500,000. They own 15%. Lori is good at what? Putting product in brick and mortars. What is her strength and what is?
I think she's good at everything.
She really is. But yeah,
but we've had a few calls with her, and she doesn't miss. Like I think she's seen everything. She's invented a bunch of products. She's got a bunch of products in brick and mortar, so she's got really good relationships with buyers. And but she's also like one of the best eyes at packaging. She talks about that a lot. And
she likes your packaging because it stands out on a store.
Yeah, she loved it.
And
I fangirled on that moment. Did you?
No, because she did.
I fangirled.
Because the amount of hours Darien has spent on this packaging, I mean, it's 100 hours.
And she just picked it up and was.
The
kids would say that she was gassing it up.
What's Rashawn do for you? What does he or the other gen? Is that his name?
Yep, Rashawn.
What's his strength?
Yeah, he's just a master businessman. So, he's in venture capital. I believe he's invested in like over 150 companies. He's exited 50 companies. Mm-hmm. But anything business-wise, questions that we have, anything about growing the business, I mean, he's a master.
Where is your product right now? Can I find the pig or wherever? Where do you want it to be that it is not?
I'd love to break this news on this podcast. I know.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
We had a big call recently from Costco, and we're going to get a good shot at the Texas. There's like 50 stores in Texas and surrounding states, so we're not going to be in Alabama yet. But we're getting a good shot. We've got a customer who got moved from one position into the tea buying position, and she was a customer of ours, a big fan of our Facebook and things. And so we had the best call with her, and we're actually going to. What was not confirmed yet, but here in a couple of weeks, we believe we're going to a few of their Texas locations to do like an on-site activation where we're selling tea on the floor to try and land that account. And
so you're going to go to Texas.
Yeah, we're going to travel.
He'll be successful with it as long as the hair.
Well,
as long as the hair.
We got to send him with
because everything's big in Texas, including the hair.
Very
Don't relate to you.
Liz will make fun of me because sometimes she says my hair keeps getting taller and taller. She's like, Liz said, "When was the last time you had a haircut?" And I'm like, I assume that means because my hair is really tall today.
Where's it? Where can we find it now in Alabama? And national.
We're in all the Piggly Wigglies.
Okay.
Foodlands, Food City stores. So that's going to go in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, even into the Carolinas. And so that's our three biggest stores right now. And then we're working with we have another handful of stores right now that we're trying to get into.
So you're working with everybody from Walmart to Kroger to
that's the goal.
In
Publix.
The main thing that we had to change was the brands that we're competing with, Lipton, Red Diamond, Louisiana. And by the way, a fun thing that I'd like to say about those three brands is I feel like we've met some people from those companies, and it's a cool thing because there's not a lot of competition in our space. There's 3 or 4 huge brands, and we don't put Milo's in our category just because they're already pre-made. But it's cool that a lot of those companies are in Alabama. You got a bunch of tea companies in Alabama, but we don't have a lot of competition. And now we've like kind of slid into this little corner that we're in, but they're all in the same box on the shelf, but they can put a bunch of those boxes and go really tall. You can't stack our bag at all. So the main thing that we're waiting on is it's going to be the same exact tea, but just done in the same kind of carton with this cigarette wrapper, cellophane wrap around the box. But as soon as that's done, it will be gung-ho.
So the packaging could look different, although
the font it'll look very, very similar to this with our graphics and all that kind of stuff. It'll just be in a box.
Easier to stack and easier to face on shelves, et cetera. Yeah.
And when that happens, we were coming.
Did I hear folks say, whether it's me or somewhere out in one of your podcasts or whatever, that someone asking you where you want to be, you're both 31, where you want to be at 37, 38, that you'd be willing and or looking to sell the company and then what? Move to Key West, enjoy the rest of your life?
Are you making an offer here?
Yeah, very often.
There's clearly Karle wants to.
Yeah. I mean, you're so young and you're so successful and you're still building, but yet you're already thinking about when you might be, buying the beach house.
I think the interesting thing, neither of us, we come from lower middle class, and we've got an opportunity to do something that not a lot of people get, and we're aware of that. And to build this, we're as proud as you could be. Our family's proud, and we joke about we don't pat ourselves on the back enough for what we've done from college dropouts to this. I think it's a a look for, you're taught in basketball not look at the scoreboard. You get Coach Dutton would have slapped us if we looked at the scoreboard. So it's not something that we do. But man, I think that selling the company one day would be really special because it's a testament of how hard we worked for this project. And we know that we've got many more projects that we have ideas for. Now we do want to build it up a little bit more than where we're at now before we sell it. But I think that'd be neat. Like, I think that's part of the American dream is build something up and sell it. And, to have the opportunity to do it, it's special. So
as long as you guys have it, you're going to stay in Hayden, Alabama.
We are.
That's the plan. So in Hayden, the building we started the company out of, as you probably know, there's not a lot of buildings in Hayden. There's not a lot of big warehouses in Hayden to move to. So we were able to get a building built. And so now we have enough space where I think we'll be there for probably a long time. Yeah.
Isn't there that you see, selling the company? Well, look what Sean Casimus did with Zoe's. And I mean, he, went to Mountain Brook High School, played some football at Bama and thought outside the box and took his mom's chicken salad and,
You got to remember where you come from.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember where you come from.
And that's something that's really special to me because back in the day, and I'd definitely go back to that. But when we were doing those festivals, I can remember a rainy day carrying boxes, and my neighbor would come over and help get them to the truck, or a random person who I knew from town but didn't really know them that well would help us. I remember those moments, and so we're really proud to be from Hayden. It is a tiny town, but I said this all the time. If we made a Facebook post that said we need somebody to help us, we're in the middle of 160 stranded, I think the whole town of Hayden would come help us out because of we give back to the school, we give back to the basketball teams, got our logo painted on the floor now, and we just tried.
Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat, forever.
Yeah.
So your logo's on the basketball.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I mean, but this is where great marketing minds come in, and I can't say enough about how you've marketed this.
Yeah, and we could definitely move to bigger cities and have probably develop some of the similar. If we moved to Birmingham, we could tap into a bigger market and have the same probably pool, but something special about being in a small town. That's where we grew up. That's where we drank this good sweet tea we were raised on, and something special about Highway 160. Although the 3 roundabouts are pretty annoying.
That's the worst. What bonehead?
I don't know. Let's talk about this.
Wait. This is bad.
Yeah, this is bad.
And I'm dyslexic. A lot of people don't know this about me. I'm very dyslexic.
Oh, see?
When I was in high school, I was doing differential equations.
Roundabouts?
I was doing differential equations, but I was reading on 3rd grade level. So somebody put not 1, not 2, but 3 of these roundabout things. And for a dyslexic person, this is a nightmare.
You're not going the wrong way, are you?
Oh, yeah, I could. Yeah. People are honking at you. And look at this moron, and I'm trying to think, you want to go down here?
Could have been the one honked at you.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean,
that was done to slow down the speed of the traffic.
Yeah, there was a lot of wrecks and stuff right there. There wasn't a stoplight. I mean, look, they could have done a stoplight.
There's going to be more wrecks with these roundabouts than before. Now, if you ever fly into Birmingham, you look down, you get closer when you see those 3 circles down there at the Hayden exit. So
it's all games you go to work.
Right? You know where to find those things. Those things. Yeah, and there's one up there at Cleveland. On the other side of
trapped on 160.
It's just like it's a nightmare of these. What do you call these things?
I don't know.
Traffic circles of doom.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Well, see, I tell you get us old guys going on a rant.
I'd rather talk about the roundabouts. And it took them a year to do it.
Oh, yeah, and it was torn up for at least a year.
Yeah, and you got everybody's getting nails in their tires. Warrior Tire made $1 million off of the project because I
can't figure out how to get in the jacks.
I can't either.
It's like,
and then someone's going to merge over on you when you do. No, you can't. Yeah. And I don't even want to get into this topic either.
Oh, go ahead.
Love the state workers.
We're going to take it right down the tubes.
We get 50 or 60 state workers who are just, I don't think it takes 60 sometimes. I think
overstaffed is what
they're very overstaffed. Oh, extremely overstaffed. A lot of times you have 2 or 3 guys holding a cooler.
Yeah.
You have 4 or 5 guys swapping shifts on the stop sign, and
see that's the work ethic getting behind. Saying, "Come on, Rip."
We'll just stop. Say, "Hey, you want to pack some tea?"
Well, you guys are proud of you. I mean, it's great to see what you've done, and it's pretty amazing.
You made our state proud.
I mean,
really have.
You really have. You did a great job on Shark Tank. I still can't believe that they had you up there for like an hour. How long was the segment? 8-9 minutes?
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, one more real question here. What kind of makeup do they put on you?
A lot.
A lot, yeah. And they cut my hair too. Actually, they cut one individual follicle of hair off of my head. She said, "You have really nice hair." I said, "Thank you." And she clipped it. I think she did it just to prove a point that she wanted to.
I have one last story. This will be the last one. So we're about to go out there.
This is the best story.
Darien's a sweater. Okay.
Armpit sweat.
Yep. And so we're about to go out there, and Darien's like, "My armpits are sweating." And at this time, we have someone.
This is go time.
Yeah, like we're about to go out. We have somebody doing makeup, all the things all over us, putting our mics on. And this person comes up to Darien and they say, "Hey, I got you covered. I got you an armpit pad." And Darien was like, "An armpit pad?" And it was a pad that stuck to his armpit that held all his armpit sweat in while we were out there.
That's outstanding.
And it was always,
Did somebody, was that on Shark Tank?
yeah, it was our modest. Yeah. I guess if it was something like that. But I wore them during the pitch. Yeah. First time ever wearing pit pads. Yeah.
I did.
No.
The show title, I wore pit pads. See, I could make show titles for this show.
So when he's on the air for 12 hours straight doing severe weather, he needs a pit pad.
I know.
I really do. That's outstanding. Have you ever heard of this?
You're not a sweater, are you?
If it's hot enough, I will. Yeah, no, everybody sweats.
You know what they say about weather guys, that the less clothes the weather guy wears, the more serious.
Yeah, I know.
He's got a full suit on. It's sunny and 75.
Brandon said we should dress up as different versions of James Spann when we come here today. And I was like, he gets that all the time. He's somebody doing or I was like, what can we do? I actually looked up today. This is the lamest thing to admit. We're passing 1 million bags, which is 10 million gallons. So I was like, I'm going to stump James Spann with a rain joke. How much rain is 10 million gallons? And so I'm talking to ChatGPT. And then basically
AI guy.
Yeah. So then she tells me that basically 10 million gallons of rain isn't even really extremely impressive.
Not bad.
She said it's an hour. She said it's an hour of a good storm, and I was like, all right, that's not even going to be. But
It's not a good man.
Well, see, but you were preparing.
I was trying
for sitting next to James Spann. Is he right on that?
Yes. It's worth 30, 45 minutes about a good rain. You'd think it was like 3 months worth of rain.
Yeah. No.
Well, congratulations on everything. We admire hard workers and good people here.
Remember, think about the young people that are studying you guys.
He's right.
They want to do what you've done and the example that you're setting. And it's great for the state. And there's going to be others that will follow in your footsteps. So thanks for the example. That's outstanding.
And that has been your philosophy with the kids. I've always wondered, why does this guy go to, drive an hour and a half to Winfield or whatever, go into a school for 20 minutes, turn around and get back to the station at 3 o'clock. And you do that for so many years and people remember you and remember your loyalty and remember your kindness. And those people come back around. I mean, everybody.
What's your legacy? I mean, it's how you treat people. That's it. And this is part of your legacy right here. I mean, it's just, and again, you will help to train another group of entrepreneurs who want to do the same thing that you've done. And they study what you've done. This will be a class. When they're teaching one of these classes in business school, these two guys will be in the book.
I hope they let us be teachers one day.
Yeah, I did too.
Even though they do cheat, we learned that.
Yeah, Coach Penny said it's better to cheat than repeat.
It's another good show title.
Real quick before we go, do you think if this wasn't tea with your work ethic and knowledge of social media and business, could it have been jewelry or brownies or dog food?
Hairspray. I still might do hairspray. No doubt. Well, I think the one thing that we identified that we got lucky with is not a lot of competition. The coffee, for instance, coffee brands, there's all these crazy coffee brands, and then everybody's got a coffee brand. But tea, there's not a lot of them. There's these huge legacy brands that I mentioned, and there's not a lot of startups. And so I think there's a really cool opportunity in that space. I think to give advice to someone, it would be find what you're going to do, but try to find it also in a way that it's not competing against all of these other brands, so that you have you can get a little bit of light. You need a little bit of light to get it going.
Find a niche.
Yeah, find your niche. Just try to avoid. We got to find our niche. I'm trying to avoid saying that word because I don't know if it's niche or niche or.
I think it's niche, but see, James
County is niche. You go to parts of the state.
You got to watch. Sometimes you got to watch how you say it though, because sometimes I said niche and someone.
It might be a problem.
Yeah, it could be a
thing. You go wrong with it.
I will say I wanted to touch on, because this is actually I think some important to me and Brandon now. What you mentioned about the next generation looking up to us, because we're young and we still act like 15-year-olds.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, I would love it. But in all seriousness, we think that way. We hire high school kids throughout the year, so we're cutting up with these guys playing basketball. But you get for us, we're 31, but you get a yes, sir, a couple times. And then as we talk, we realize that these high school kids that are working for us are actually really, really focusing on what we're saying. And then me and Brandon will talk about this. Like when we were in their shoes, I can remember a local business owner who didn't have a huge business, but I remember like I would see that guy walk into Logan's and like, man, that's such and such. Well, now we are those people, and you don't realize that because you're just living in the moment, and it's just life. But not that it's certainly not changed us, but it's just made us aware because it is a very important thing to lead the next generation and realize that there's eyes on you, and definitely don't let it change you, but realizing that has certainly had us inspire kids already, which is really cool.
And find a niche. And that's what you feel like. It's like something like, I don't know, want to make this up, Alabama Weather Network. Yeah. Say you came up with something like that. Yeah. You could do
niche product.
It could be big.
We'll work on it. We'll make it happen.
You're gonna make it happen. All right, Brandon, Darien, appreciate you. Yes, Liz, thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
All right, make us look good, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Love it.
Okay, we're going to cut a 2-minute thing right now just for my Facebook page and Twitter.
Okay.
We don't know when this will post. We're stockpiling about 12 of them, and we'll do once a week. So it might be a month. But
I think just a quick tease of it.
Yeah, okay.
No pun intended.
Here we go. Hey, Rick.
Press the record button.
Yeah. Where's no row?
Okay, here we go. 3 times. Hey, Rick Karle here, our special guest James Spann here on the Good Company podcast, along with Brandon Echols and Darien Craig, the brains behind Y'all Sweet Tea. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great.
He gave us some of this new peach flavor. It is fantastic. James Spann, what do you think? Y'all Sweet Tea?
So good. I need to go slap somebody's mama.
Brandon's.
Real quick, a former Hayden High School basketball player. He dropped out from Wallace State?
Jeff
State. Came back, had a dream, and here you are, how many years later?
Almost 5 years,
5 years later, doing well. You went on Shark Tank, and everybody wants to know about Shark Tank. So tell us a quick story about how Shark Tank went and how nervous you were.
I'll say it was nerve-wracking.
I was so nervous I had pit pads.
Yeah.
You had pit pads to soak up the sweat.
Yeah, I was pouring sweat, and they gave me pit. I was wiping my armpits down with a paper towel, and he said, "Hey, do you need a pit pad?" And I was like, what did you just say to me? He's like, no, seriously, here's a pit pad.
And Lori Grenier and Rashawn bid on you. They've got 15% of your company for what? What'd they pay?
$500,000, and now they're business partners.
Okay, and your business, and they're doing well for you. Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Can you call up Lori right now and say, "Hey, this is Brandon. What's going on?"
Funny story. Me and Brandon were going to cut out of work early a couple weeks ago. We were going to cut out of work early and go to the gym. We have pre-workout sitting on my desk. Lori calls my phone as me and Brandon are about to take this pre-workout and leave early.
It's like a teacher called Darien pointed it to me.
Yeah. So I answer the phone. We put it on speaker and just sat right back down. She's like, "How are y'all doing?" "Oh, we're working hard. Never worked harder than we are right now."
And we ended up talking to her for 45 minutes.
That's awesome. Where can people find you on social?
Y'all Sweet Tea on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and if they want to buy the tea, let's jump to that.
Go.
Y'all Sweet Tea.
Let's get real.
Yep.
Come on,
YallSweetTea.com. Yep.
Okay, it's y'allsweettea.com.
That's it.
Okay, you got to put the apostrophe in there? Or no? No. YALL, no apostrophe. Okay, there you go. James, how's the Alabama Weather Network? You all right?
I'm good, man, because I got some Y'all Sweet Tea.
If James Spann is in your corner, guys,
I'm all in.
You've got it. All right, let's give you one of those. Way to go, Brandon, Darien. All right. Hey, y'all, Sweet Tea. Take care.